Well, I've been watching this, or listening to, I guess you could say, this history of money and banking by Murray Rothbard. Rothbard, I think is how you say that, but it's very very detailed about how the kind of powers went back and forth between specie and banknote issuance and things like that, and how there used to be state banks versus federal banks and such. And California at one point had its own constitution forbidding something about state banks and state banknotes. I don't know. There's 5 parts of this history of money and banking, and they're each like a few hours long, and it's just audio only. So there's a lot of good details on the monetary history in that. But that's not what I'm making this video for. What I'm making this video for is because I'm kind of really tired of seeing the financial system turn into what it's turning into today. Our money, or our currency, used to be this. This is what it began as. This document certifies that there has been deposited in the Treasury of the United States of America, the big bold letters. So the Treasury is like the safe or the vault for the country's wealth, for the wealth of the country. And they told everybody in the general public to turn over their gold and silver to the Treasury so they would issue these certificates. And they were repayable to the bearer on demand, $100 in gold coin. So that's what this document represents. That's what this certificate is supposed to represent, $100 in gold coin. That's what gives this its value. Now, what we have today is not gold certificates. What we have today is fiat currency banknotes. And this is a Federal Reserve fiat banknote. See the difference in what this piece of paper now represents? It's a Federal Reserve banknote. United States of America. It says pay to the bearer on demand $1,000. But it doesn't say $1,000 of what. It just says Federal Reserve note, the United States of America. I can't really read. It says something paid to the bearer on demand $1,000. Just $1,000. It could be $1,000 of bread. It could be $1,000 of peaches. It could be $1,000 of cattle manure. You know, it just says $1,000, but it doesn't specify of what. And then over time, they didn't even write that anymore. They just call it a Federal Reserve note, USD, or United States dollar. And it's a dollar of nothing. It's just a name of the currency, just like a yen or whatever. They're just names of currencies, and there's nothing that links them to anything of value like they're supposed to be. That's how this whole system started. It started with these banknotes tied and linked to gold coins, $100 in gold coins. See, this one here is very specific. It says where there has been deposited the Treasury of the United States of America. That's where the gold is. And it says how much, $100 in gold coin. And it says payable to who? To the bearer of this banknote on demand. So you have the amount, you have the where, and you have who. It gets paid to, all specified in this banknote. If you don't have, and this it's gold specified as well. If it doesn't specify of what, then it's just like a coupon for a price of something, and instead of a actual value of wealth or a determination of value of metal, it's a value of numbers. It's a value of a pool of numbers instead. And that means that we're all working for just a made-up cloud pool of numbers that we're all just working, just slaving our lives for. If I was working for gold coins, that'd be one thing, but we're not. We're working for these banknotes that aren't linked to anything of value. See, the reason I'm kind of worried is because I've been seeing kind of videos kind of like that. I'm not sure who exactly this is, but this person is going over about Tether crypto coins, and he goes into how this Tether company is worth almost $65 billion, and there's only like 15 employees or something like that to this crypto company, so that's like $5 billion, something like that, for each person. And this Tether coin, crypto coin, is worth more than PayPal now, and it's all based on a possible major fraud. And they say that this is what I'm talking about. They're saying that this cryptocurrency is 1-to-1 back to the US dollar, and what our money originally was a gold certificate or silver certificate backed by gold and silver. Now, 100 years later, 120 years later, we are trying to back our fiat non-gold, non-silver backed currency. We're trying to back our unvalued linked currency to a non-physical make-believe currency of cryptocurrency, and they're now getting away with fraud with that. They've been getting away with fraud with fiat banknote currency for decades now, for over a half a century, almost for over a century, and now we got fraud happening with cryptocurrency, trying to claim they're 1-to-1 back to the US dollar, which they're not. They're just, creating these Tether crypto coins out of nothing. They're creating like $4 billion in every like 5 days or something like that. And this guy's just like, oh, we're good. That's one of the owners. It's like, I guess Bitfinex is a cryptocurrency exchange, and Bitfinex and Tether are both owned by the same people, so they're basically creating tethers at will to accumulate Bitcoin and make the price of Bitcoin go up. That's why Bitcoin is so unbelievably overly priced. It's ridiculous. I mean, right now we got crypto in a bubble, we got assets in a bubble, real estate's in a bubble. There was like one of the three major assets were in bubbles right now, and cryptocurrency is also in a bubble, and they didn't mention that at all. Well, Bitcoin definitely is. So it's kind of maddening, because this is all just made up value of things, because we don't have any concept of value, because we're not linking our money to anything of value. If we linked it to gold and silver again, then you would be able to picture like $300 in gold coins is worth $300 worth of stuff in gold. Like comparing gold to stuff is a lot easier to place value on stuff than a pool of numbers. Plus, they're getting away with fraud. They're printing these banknotes for cents on face value, for the pennies upon their face value, and they're just accumulating so much of the wealth of the people. Like the people are giving up their freedoms and their wealth for fiat banknote currency. That is just crazy, insane. just two more last examples before I bring this video to a close. This is an example of our coin debasement. This is the one on the right is a 1983 full copper penny. It's actual copper. You can see how it's turning slightly green a little bit from its decoloration. And this is a, let's see, what year is this? So 2002 penny, and this is made up of mostly zinc and made up of 2.5% copper. And the face value of zinc is about 1/1000th of a full copper penny. So for the price of one full copper penny, you can make 1,000 zinc pennies, and 1,000 zinc pennies at face value is 10 U.S. Federal Reserve note dollars. So they're getting 10 Federal Reserve note dollars worth of face value in zinc pennies for every copper penny they spend in the mint. And here's the last example right here. These are two quarters. One quarter is from 1948. This quarter here is 2020. So if you listen to the sound of this quarter, it has a pretty high pitch, but if you listen to the 1948 quarter, it has a lot deeper ring to it. Actually sounds like a coin, versus this sounds like a piece of tin. So that's how much our coins have been debased over the decades. We have gone from a silver-based coin, which actually has value and wealth to it, to a debased, I don't know what exactly metal is in this thing, but it's not silver anymore. This is not even, our pennies aren't even copper anymore. They're 2.5% copper. This is a real copper penny. In 1983 is when they stopped making copper pennies, or something like that. 1985, 83, I think it was 83. And they've been making zinc pennies ever since. So that's my last example on the history of our monetary system. We have been duped and debased for so long. I think it's about time that we started doing something about it. So I know there aren't very many solutions to this monetary economic problem we have. So one of the most basic ways of being able to determine a coin's value or a metal's value is by weighing it and seeing what its weight is. See, what's this one? See, look, this one weighs 0.15, and the old coin weighs 0.2 of an ounce, so almost like 1/5 of an ounce versus this other coin. So this other coin doesn't weigh as much as the real silver coin. That's one way to tell. And Google has been dumping tons of resources into their sound analyzing technology, and I heard of an app called Spectroid that you can use to analyze sound frequencies. And I bet you anything, if you analyze the sound of these coins, the ringing sound of the frequency of these coins, you could definitely have a unique signature, especially with how detailed Google's sound analyzing software has become. So, and also, if we have a shortage of silver or copper or such, and we need another type of metal to use as a base currency, see, look at every 12-ounce soda pop can is a half an ounce of aluminum. And if there was a simple device where we could take these and melt them down into basic coins, half-ounce coins, 1-ounce coins, what have you, and that would give a base coin system to be able to trade with, and you can always exchange them for US dollars because they're recycled aluminum. It's the same as the face value of whatever the recycle is for it on the can here. And I don't know if it says exactly what it is on the can. I know it does on the bottles, I believe, but I don't know. It's like 5 cents, 2 cents, whatever that is. So, and that's for a ½ ounce of aluminum. Okay. And if we had a simple machine that could melt those down into coins, then we could have and once you have a base value system like this with the aluminum coin, then you can have a group of coins, like say 10 or 50 of them, to equal, say, like a silver 1 ounce coin or something like that. You build your value chart from there once you have your base coin, and that's what the aluminum ½ ounce coin would be. So those are my top of the head solutions for fixing the monetary system problems and getting the wealth back to the people to whom it properly belongs.